Hey everyone, today we're diving into one of the biggest hurdles any new founder faces. It's that huge leap from having a dream in your head to creating a product that actually makes an impact in the real world. And that journey requires a massive shift in how you think, getting out of the dark and finally testing your ideas in the light.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the problem. So many entrepreneurs get completely lost in their own vision, and they forget who they're actually building for. They spend all this time polishing, perfecting, adding features, but it's all happening inside a bubble, totally cut off from what real people actually want.
And this habit of building in a bubble, well, it leads founders straight into our first big trap, what we're calling the founder's illusion. It's a pitfall that is dangerously easy to fall into, especially when you're super passionate about your idea. Startup mentor Eva Šimeková says this is the #1 mistake she sees time and time again. A founder spends a year, maybe even 2 years, secretly building what they think is the perfect product. Then they launch it and crickets, absolute silence. And why? Because they fell in love with their solution long before they ever confirmed that the problem was real for anyone else. So, here's the crucial mindset shift you have to make. Stop waiting around for that one big, perfect idea to strike you like a bolt of lightning. Instead, just start by looking at the world around you. Find a problem that you're genuinely obsessed with solving, and then go talk to the people who are actually feeling that pain every single day.
All right, let's move on to the second big myth that so many founders get caught up in. This one's all about what you should be chasing first. And honestly, it's a paradox that can totally define your entire startup journey. So, here's the core question. What's the first thing you should be hunting for? Is it the money you need to build your big idea? Or is it the wisdom you need to build it right? Getting the answer to this right is the key to opening all the right doors.
And this is where the paradox becomes so powerful. If you walk into an investor's office and all you're asking for is money, you're most likely going to walk out with some polite advice. But if you walk in genuinely asking for their advice, for their feedback, you often end up building the trust that actually leads to an investment. It's kind of backward, but it works.
This quote from Kolesár just perfectly captures how this whole thing works. When you seek advice, it shows you're humble, it shows you respect their experience. You're not just pitching a thing, you're starting a relationship. And at the end of the day, investors bet on people they trust.
And let's be real, money can't fix a broken idea. If you're building something that nobody wants, a bunch of cash just helps you build that unwanted thing faster. That's why getting advice and wisdom first isn't just a clever strategy. It is literally the most capital-efficient thing you can do.
So, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do this? How do you put these advice-first and problem-first ideas into practice? Okay, let's get into the actual playbook.
This 5-step process is basically your roadmap. First, you have to define exactly who you're trying to help. Then, find some strangers, and I mean strangers, not your friends and family who are just going to be nice to you. Talk to them about their problems. Then, whip up a simple paper prototype to make your idea visual. And finally, the most important step of all, just listen, learn, and be totally ready to change or even abandon your idea based on what you hear.
And let's be super clear here. Prototype does not mean you need to spend months coding something. Seriously. It can be a simple sketch on a napkin, a wireframe, or a few slides you threw together in Canva. The goal isn't to build a finished product. It's just to create something real enough that you can get honest feedback on your core idea.
Now, to help you actually structure this whole process, there's a fantastic free tool out there called the Challenger Kit. You can think of it like a startup diary. It guides you through documenting all your assumptions, your conversations, and what you're learning, so you're not just guessing anymore. You're actually building a case based on real evidence.
Okay, doing all this on your own is really powerful. But what if you could plug into an entire ecosystem that's designed to do this kind of validation? That can seriously speed up your progress. Let's take a look at how that works.
Take a look at this number, 45. What is that? Well, that's the number of top-tier mentors and investors that semifinalists get access to over 3 super intense days at the Startup Awards Bootcamp. It is an unbelievable concentration of expertise, all focused on one thing, helping founders test their ideas against reality at warp speed.
And the impact is absolutely real. Unimus, a cybersecurity startup, met their one and only investor there. Wallabone found their lead investor at the bootcamp, and they didn't even make it to the finals. The connections you make in that kind of intense, focused environment can be unbelievably powerful, and they can last for years.
So what makes all of this possible? It really comes down to a culture of paying it forward. You've got experienced founders, investors, mentors, all helping the next generation without expecting anything back right away. They know that a stronger ecosystem helps everybody, and that creates this incredible cycle of support and shared knowledge.
So let's bring all of this together. We've talked about dodging the founder's illusion, we've talked about the money advice paradox, and the power of reality testing your ideas. So what's the final big takeaway here?
Šimeková brings up this famous quote from the founder of LinkedIn all the time, and it's just the perfect metaphor. Starting a company is chaotic, it's uncertain. You will never have all the answers before you start. The whole trick is to just start building and testing and steering while you're already in free fall, using that real-world feedback as your guide. And that leads us to this final, critical point from Kolesár. If you wait for the perfect market conditions, or the perfect team, or the perfect product, you're going to wait forever. The opportunities are the ones that exist right now, today, and the only way to grab them is to just begin.
So, the market isn't going to wait for you. The only question that really matters is, what action are you going to take? Are you going to profile a customer, write that first email, sketch that first prototype? What part of the plane are you going to build today?